Good kill, good kill. Hey, good kill.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are in the F-16 Viper and we're going to be taking off from Tbilisi. This is my server. It is a PvP server, so everybody we fight is a real person. If you want to get in on this server, all you have to do is be on the open beta version of DCS. Alright, let's take off and see what we can do. Alright, so we're just climbing here. I got two bandits on the radar. We're going to continue our climb. Slowly but surely. Okay, so we got this guy here. Angel's 29-ish. 23 miles, 22 miles. So I got a Fox 3 and we're going to go ahead and start offsetting left here. Push him to the gimbal limit of the radar and be ready for him to fire on me, theoretically. There he is in the cons. Doesn't really look like he knows what's going on, to be honest. He's really fast. Holy shit. Oh, there he is trying to evade the missile and splash one right there. Love that. And also just note that I was like Mach 1.4, 1.5 when I fired that missile, so I was very confident that it was going to hit him. Looks like somebody else hit him too there, in case he wasn't dead yet. Now he's extra dead. That's a lesson for you to not fly in the cons like that, especially when you're this close to the other team, or hostiles, I guess. So here's the other advantage with the F-16, you know, use that data link, you know exactly what's going on around you. Very few bandits are hiding from the AWACS. Just gonna point my radar right at this guy. We'll go ahead and lock him up. And he's 12 miles away, so we're really close to the Mar here. And I got lots of mountains I can use. Fox 3. And I think he might have launched on me. Yep, there it is. Alright, so we'll just dive into the mountains here. I am a little bit inside the Mar, but I'm not too worried just because the F-16 is so fast. And I'll be able to run away from that missile. Although, I don't know if I hit that guy. Alright, so I'm recommitting here. I don't think the last missile hit our guy, but my data link says he's still up, so I've recommitted onto him. Let's go ahead and lock him up here. He's low, so you can tell he dove down into the mountains. Go ahead and lock him up here. There's another friendly headed in, so I want this kill before he can get it. And there he is at 9 miles. He's not looking at me, and he's super slow. So my assumption is that he has actually lost situational awareness. And he's a sitting duck at this point. And there it is. That's the kill. Splash another bandit. I'm not really sure what would have resulted in him losing situational awareness like that, but you know, maybe I wasn't on data link because the blue AWACS is pretty far. Anyway, we got two more guys coming in. Fairly decent altitude here, 21,000 feet here. So we'll go ahead and lock this guy up. I don't really care about his buddy behind him, but Fox 3 here at 10 miles, and we're gonna dive. I can't take a chance that he might not shoot at me. Alright, I don't think he shot at me. Go ahead and turn back in any second now. There it is, splash one. Alright, so that's 3 bandits in quick succession here. Alright, so I have another guy off in front of me, I think. I'm just going to turn and put him on the nose here. He's in a flanking position to me, so I don't think he sees me, and I might be able to get up behind him. Looks like he's chasing another friendly. And here he's at 4 miles. And I only have 1 AMRAM left. I'll show it to you. There it is. And so I got this 1 missile to take this guy down, so I really want to make it count. Somebody fired at me from behind, but I'm not worried. He's pretty far away. And that's a Fox 3 from me, and this guy now is defending, but it's definitely too late. Lots of flares. There was no chaff in that drop. That was all flares. All flares for an AMRAM. There's the ejection. At least he survived, so maybe he'll learn a lesson for the next one. That's an F-15 right there, so... Alright, so that missile behind me, once again, it was fired from a pretty far distance, so I'm not too worried. I know it was fired from a far distance because of the data link. I'm like 99% sure. You know, there could be a guy who's not on data link, but not at this distance from the AWACS. So we'll just dive just to be safe and continue defending here. And look, if the missile hasn't hit me by now, it's not going to hit me. 2 or 3 seconds cold. If that missile doesn't hit you, you're safe. Alright, so I got this guy off in the distance. I have 2 guys in front of me. One of them's low chasing another friendly, and I have another guy about 35 miles back at a higher altitude. So I'm going to go for the high guy, Fox 3, and I'm going to ignore the low bandit, and I'll come back for him once I sweep this guy up, because he's kind of a high priority right now. He's a higher altitude and definitely could be a threat to me. So I just foxed there. We're about 40 miles from him now. And pretty good Mach speed, Mach 1.5-ish, so I'm feeling confident in that shot. He's about Angels 28, I think I saw there, or 20. And so we're just going to maintain that to 30. Remember that 30 is technically the MAR, but he's a little bit too low. So here's a second Fox 3 for him, just to be sure that he dies. And we're going to start cranking to the left here. And we're going to try putting our bandit on the gimbal limit. That hostile that was low looks like he's still not too concerned about me. We're going to more aggressively go to the left here. I can break the lock on that AMRAM at this point. It should be guiding by itself. And there's the message. I've turned on the BDA, so you can see we killed an F-15C. It's on the right-hand portion of the screen there. I didn't visually see the kill, but definitely hit him. Now look at this data link here. It looks like that guy who was low is now chasing me. So he's increased his altitude in an attempt to catch up with me. I can see the missile launch there. It could be dangerous, but I'm in an F-16. I'm super fast. And I'm diving, so I feel good. I'm going to get away from that missile. But he's way too close for me to want to recommit, so I'm just going to have to, you know, continue cold, hope that he loses me, gives up, or maybe a friendly can bag him for me. And I'm just going to continue dragging that missile. Oh, and somebody got him. He's dead. Thank you. So that was a nice little unintentional bag and drag there. You can see that friendly right on top of him. That's the one who got him. Looks like he was target fixated on me and, you know, got himself killed. He actually merged with somebody else, so he really wasn't paying attention when he was chasing me there. Alright, looks like we got this guy far out in front of us. Let's go and check him out and see what he's up to. So this far guy, if I've done my navigation correctly and I'm oriented the way I think I am, he's up near the Bestland area. And it looks like I'm bingo fuel, so I got a fuel problem at this point. But yeah, so I think like Bestland is one of our bases where, you know, red will try to hit blue in the flanks. And I think he's just hanging out over there trying to catch people taking off. And he wants to pop out of the mountains and kill them before they, you know, have a chance to get high and get fast. So It's an interesting tactic by him, but we're going to go ahead and clean him up here. I have him at an altitude of 14,000 feet and about 34 miles out. So he's showing up on data link, and you know, I'm going to try to get some altitude because he's clearly in the mountains over there, and I want to get high so that I can look down into the crevices so that he can't hide from me. That's the idea anyway. Alright, so we're pretty close to best land now. He's in that valley right below me. You can see the box there. And I think momentarily he's going to disappear behind this mountain. And I will lose the track, but it's okay because I generally know where he's at. Now, I am basically an idle at this point because I have a serious fuel problem. If I can kill him, best land is right over that valley, and I'll be okay. I'll be able to get home. But if this missile doesn't hit him, I don't have time to play around with him, and I'll be fairly vulnerable, right? Because I won't be able to maneuver and all that stuff. So, really hoping that AMRAAMs don't let me down here today. I've lost the lock at this point, and we're just waiting for him to pop up somewhere. Even if I have to go over this mountain to find him. Based on the trajectory of where he was flying, he should come up on the right-hand side of this mountain ridge somewhere. Come on. There he is. There he is on the right side as expected. He's fairly close, within 10 I think. Yeah, 9 Fox 3. And there he is. Looks like he's actually very slow, which means that AMRAAM's going to catch him nicely. Okay, yep, come on. Splash. F-18 Hornet. Rambler. Alright, good kill. Good try by him. He had the right idea. He was trying to surprise our guys, but I couldn't have that. Alright guys, so we got our quick little Tacview review here. We'll put the labels on. So as previously mentioned, this is on my server. Everyone here is a person, PvP, very, very few AI. You're not going to see a whole lot of AI on this server. So here I recommit onto an F-15 Desert Fox, I guess was his name. I couldn't see that in the game, obviously. And let's get our range. So 16 miles, and he's at Angels, or he's at an altitude of 19,000. And I'm at 23,000. And Fox 3, and I dive because, you know, at this distance I'm definitely inside the MAR. Luckily for me, he's not very fast. He's only at a Mach 1 point. We'll round that up to Mach 1.1. And honestly, I don't even think he was looking at me, so I felt pretty safe there when I fired that. However, he does pick me up on radar, and this is why you don't just assume that somebody doesn't see you. I still behaved as if he could see me, right? I still offset, maintained the gimbal lock, and at this point I'm a little bit deeper than I really should be, if we're being honest. I'm 8 miles, I'm well inside the MAR, and there's a little bit too much altitude. The reason that I've decided to come this far into the MAR, I mean 8 miles, I wasn't aiming for 8 miles, I wanted 10. But I'm at a Mach 1.58 and I'm in an F-16. So I know that I can dive and get away really quickly if need be. And I know that I have altitude to dump the nose to gain more speed if necessary, right? And so here, my AIM 120 hits him. And he gets 2 off. And this is where, you know, you start to dive away. And look at... you know, don't look at the Mach speed, because Mach speed is dependent on temperature, and obviously that changes with altitude, but you can see a true airspeed of 960 on the way down. So I am tremendously fast at this point, and that's really why I survive these 2 AMRAAM launches. Now, what's interesting about that is Desert Fox doesn't actually die. He survived that launch. You can see him back here. He goes on to get shot down by, I believe, H-Raptor here, kills him. But I assumed he was dead. It was one of those scenarios where I think you can learn something, like, you know, stay on the guy until you see that he's either he hits the ground or he's a, you know, giant fireball on the way down. So I just assumed that when my missile hit him, he was out. But that wasn't the case. He is messed up, though. You can tell by the way he's flying. He's feeling that AMRAAM. So at this point, I got Rambler here on data link. He showed up for me. And it's not often that you see a guy kind of playing around in these mountains. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go check him out. Because the idea was that maybe he's trying to sneak around to get to our AWACS up here. But he's a little bit too far from that, so, you know, my consensus was he's just trying to hang out in this area, this mountains, and catch anybody coming out of Beslan or Nalchik over here. And so I was like, we'll just go mop him up. Now, as I start getting closer to him, you can see I'm increasing my altitude, and the reason I'm doing that is because he's in the mountains, and only with a high altitude am I going to be able to look into these mountain crevices and find him. It's common that Datalink will lose him in these situations because he's terrain masking. The AWACS can't see through mountains, obviously, and so he's hiding back here. This is the part where I had him locked, then he went behind the little cliff there, and, you know, I'm maintaining a high altitude. I generally know where to look, and I know he's in these valleys and stuff, and so right here is where he pops back out. And I pick him up on radar again. And we commit onto him. Now, he's pretty close at this point, actually. He's 7 miles out. And that's a 7-mile Fox 3, and I'm at a Mach 1 only. I was in idle, I believe, actually. Very close to idle. At this point on the way down, you can see that AMRAAM. Now, unfortunately for him, he's slow. He's sitting at a Mach 0.5. which means he's not going anywhere. The only chance he has of defeating this AMRAAM is to go for the notch, and that would be in this general direction here. However, you can see he's, you know, a pretty fair degrees off of where he needs to be. He'll never be able to outrun an AMRAAM at that distance at a Mach 0.5. Even though he drops his tank in an attempt to get a little bit faster, but it's just not enough. And splash one right there. Alright guys, so that's going to be the video for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.